4 months ago, a 15-year-old girl walked into Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital in St. Louis, Missouri, and asked for help. Along with 4 other girls between the ages of 12 and 18, she had been sold for sex at truck stops across Missouri, Florida, Texas, and New Mexico for almost 2 months. She was lucky to be alive. According to her police report, another girl traveling with her during those months had died in her arms. The 15-year-old girl who walked into Cardinal Glennon, like the majority of children who are sold for sex in the United States today, was trafficked using Backpage.com. Throughout the subcommittee's investigation, we have received information indicating that Backpage has built a hugely successful business, in part by posting advertisements of children and other victims of human trafficking on its website. And despite knowing that its website has hosted advertisements of children being sold for sex, Backpage has apparently signaled to its moderators that those ads should remain on the site. We do know that Backpage instructed its moderators to be very cautious about deleting ads. According to the manager of the moderators, quote, "The definition of underage is anyone under the age of 18. But for the purposes of making reports, we err on the side of caution and try to report anyone that looks under the age of 21, end of quote. Importantly, guidance from Backpage emphasized in all capital letters, if in doubt about underage, the process should now be to accept the ad. If in doubt about underage, the process for now should be to accept the ad. The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, or NCMEC, for example, reports that 71% of the child sex trafficking reports it receives involve ads posted on Backpage. And according to Shared Hope International, service providers working with child sex trafficking victims have reported that between 80% and 100% of their clients have been bought and sold on Backpage.com. Can you explain your testimony that there is more stringent posting rules for selling a motorcycle than selling a 12-year-old?
I really have no explanation for that, Senator. It is what we were told while we met with Backpage. It is what is the reality of how you go about posting an ad currently. During our meetings between 2010 and 2013 with Backpage, we constantly asked there to be some form of know your customer, at least know who the individual is in that ad, knowing the high incidence of child sex trafficking ads on that website. We pointed out the fact that they're able to do this on other ad sections, such as pets and motor vehicles. And we did ask why they could not incorporate that element into their escort ads as well. We never received a satisfactory answer.
What was their answer?
Often,
what excuse did they have?
They often would say they would look into it. They would discuss it at the next meeting. It would be re-raised at the next meeting, and it would be as if it was the first time we were raising the issue.
I want to give a shout out to you and your colleagues and the literally hundreds and hundreds of prosecutors across the country that are prosecuting these cases against traffickers, against pimps, and against customers. I know for a fact that there are many U.S. attorneys' offices that are actively engaged in a cooperative fashion with local law enforcement and bringing these cases. The case I referenced in my opening statement was in fact filed by a U.S. attorney's office against the 2 traffickers that were taking these young girls from truck stop to truck stop.
I'd like to call the CEO of Backpage, Carl Ferrer. We had hoped Mr. Ferrer would be here, but he has refused to come.
I think you all have made a very powerful case as to why it is important that we be tenacious and refuse to give up. And let me just say, for the record, that I know how dedicated the chairman is to this issue. I know how dedicated I am to this issue. I know how dedicated Senator Heitkamp is to this issue. And if Backpage thinks they're going to go quietly into the night, they are sadly mistaken.